Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have changed my hair. I have a lovely hairdresser that made it darker here, and then she also added some copper shades down in my length. I love this, absolutely love this. So today I actually want to do another how-to video. I want to do how to apply contour, bronzer and blush and highlight. So right now I have a naked face. I've just done some moisturizer and I will actually do my base on camera just for you to see, but I'm going to fast forward it. But yeah, if you want to see me teach you a little bit how you apply stuff, then just please keep on watching. Can you see the glow my skin is having? It's because I've recently been taking care of my skin. So today I'm actually using the Lumene Nordic Glow Boost Essence, and on top of that I'm just wearing a day cream, and the one I'm wearing today it's this one. It's the Ritual of Namaste Glow Radiance Anti-Aging Day Cream. Yeah, but my skin is pretty nice. Anyway, I'm going to apply my foundation and my powder and my brows, as you will see, and I will fast forward it with some music. Here we go. So now my base is done. As you saw, I've applied foundation, concealer, powder, and I've done my eyebrows. And as you can see, my face is pretty flat, and that's why you want to add some color to it. I like to contour every day actually, but that's pretty excessive. You really don't have to, but I have quite a round face, so I want to contour my cheeks. I also put a bit of contour up here, but I mainly bronze in my forehead and then contour my cheeks, because this is too flat for me. So yeah, let me show you some contour stuff. First off, I like to contour with a cooler toned shadow, and I actually have a couple of ones to show you. You can contour with a warm shade if you want to. Sometimes when I'm out of time or something like that, I just use my bronzer to contour with. But that doesn't happen that often because I do really love my cool toned shades. So what I mainly contour with is, but you can use whatever you have at home. I just want you to get a feel of how cool toned it needs to be. This is my Primark Nudes palette that looks like this, and I contour with that shade. It's a cool toned taupey brown. It looks like that swatched. I also use the Linda Hallberg Infinity palette that looks like this, and I mainly use that shade, but I've been mixing it in with that shade recently just because this is quite a pigmented shade and it can look a bit dirty or muddy on your face if you're not careful. There you have the Linda Hallberg. As you see, this is a way more cooler toned than the Primark one. Let me see if I can get some more. There it is. So I mix that in with, and that's the cigar shade from the Infinity palette, and I usually mix that with Maffei. Then I also have the famous makeup store Smog shadow. That looks like this. Mine is totally worn. This was my first contour shade, and it's actually an eyeshadow, but people were raving about it years ago for contour. Here we have the makeup store one. It's pretty pigmented, so still, and it's been years since I bought this. I'm planning to pan that completely this year. And then I also have the NYX blush actually in taupe, and you've seen this on my channel before because I've used one totally up, and it's the one swatched there. So these are some shades you can use for contour. As I said, you can use a warm tone as well, that depends on you. I usually go in with a cool tone, but that's what I prefer. And I prefer a smaller brush. So I use the Real Techniques contour brush, or if I wanted a bit more defined, I use the Wet n Wild contour brush. Or I actually have the Morphe M509. I haven't used this in a really long time though, but this is also a good brush for contour because it's quite flimsy, and you want the contour to blend good, otherwise your contour will be too sharp. So today I'm going to use the Smog shade from Makeup Store. So I just take a little on my brush, tap off the brush, and then, as you can see on my cheeks, I have quite of a hollow here, and there's where you want to place the contour. You can feel, if you can feel it, you need to take the contour underneath your cheekbone. So here's my cheekbone, and yeah, and I usually start out here and blend it downwards and upwards. it's better for you to take just a little in the beginning and kind of work it up, build it up if you want to. Then I'm just going to do the same to the other. And that got a little bit more pigment, so I'm just taking some more. And you can do this face if you're not sure where to contour. Basically, you want to contour where you want to hide things or bring out things. So I want to bring out my cheekbones because I have such a round face. Some people contour their nose, and I actually don't do that often, but I can show you. Either you take a smaller brush or you take the same brush and just pinch it, and then, but depending on how your nose looks, it's depending on how you want it, but I just do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And then I have quite a large forehead, and you can also contour this a bit. Then you just place some product where you want it to look like it's a bit smaller. I don't usually do that, I only contour my cheeks. Now we have that on. Then I'm going to use bronzer. And depending on your skin tone and depending on whatever you like, there's different bronzers out there. Hold on, coffee. I like the ones that are fair skin toned, or for fair skin tone, and I like the ones with a little bit of sheen to them. So you know that one of my favorite is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzers. I have two, one in bronzer and one in light bronzer. Then I use, if you've seen my bronzer collection, you know what I have, but I like to use the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil as well. It looks like this. I'm trying to pan it this year. And the butter bronzer just looks like this. I'm actually going to use the Too Faced one, and I like to use a fluffy brush for this, just because you're adding some color to your face that isn't natural. I mean, foundation is your skin tone and it will match your chest, but the bronzer is a bit darker, and yeah, I like to go in with a fluffy brush. The one I'm using is just a Real Techniques blush brush. It's my favorite for applying bronzers actually. And I'm going to use the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil, as I said, and I just take some, tap it off, and I always start up here and dragging it in where I put down the contour. And I'm going along my forehead, and this bronzer gives a really good sheen to my skin. I look a bit more paler on camera than I do in real life, but hopefully you can see. I take just a little bit here. It's not going to show, basically, but I just like to drag it down a bit. I'm not a bronzer fan. I don't use that much bronzer, but that's because my skin is so pale, as you can see. But I started loving bronzer like 1 year ago, so my collection is definitely growing. Okay, now we have that done. What you can do, if you're feeling like you've taken your bronzer and your contour too far down, you can clean it up with some loose powders or some pressed powders. Then you just take, say you take the beauty blender or the sponge you're using, just take some powder and press it on like this, and then you can clean it off. That's also how you can bake. Just press it in the powder and press it on and then leave it on. I'm not going to do that because I like how this looks. Then I'm a blush hoarder, so I have a lot of blush, and now it's time for blush. There are a million blushes out there, so whatever you like, use that. I'm going to be using one blush from my Sleek palette today, and it's a blush with some golden shimmer in it. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. But this can be a little bit hard to blend, so I might add a blush from Becca on top of it. There are different ways to apply blush, and then there are different brushes out there. And once again, this is whatever works for you, or whatever you prefer, you do. You can use a Real Techniques blush brush. This is really flimsy and good if you want to kind of blend it a bit and not have it as precise. I love my Wet n Wild blush brush. As you can see, it's dirty. And you can actually apply blush on different ways as well. I have, as I said, quite a round face, so I won't be applying blush here. Most people like to apply the blush on top of the apples of the cheek. I don't. I think that enhances my roundness. I like to apply blush where I apply my contour and bronzer. So I like to apply my blush here. A little bit on top of that we used before. And I like to kind of drag it down. So I always start up here and then go down there. Because then you have contour, bronzer, blush. And then on top of your cheekbone you have highlight. And I'm going to show you that as well. But as I said, if you don't have this kind of a round face, or if you prefer to put down the blush on top of here, you can totally do that. I watch a lot of people that wear blushes here, and it's so pretty, but it doesn't work for my face. So I'm just taking some blush on that brush, and then I'm starting here and dragging it a bit down. Now this has a lovely sheen to it, as you can see. So it's perfect today, I think. Then I do the same to the other side of my face. So I start up here, dragging it down, and then slightly go over the apples of my cheek. But most of my pigment is located back here, as you can see. So now I have a lot more pigment on this side, and I also took it a little bit too far up, because that happens. So I'm just going to add some more to this side. Now you might think, oh my god, that's a lot of blush. And yes, it is, but I love blushes. But what you can do, if you think that this is too much on your skin, if you apply too much or something, just take your powder brush and just blend it in a bit. And go over with that brush, and you will see that it's now kind of blended together. Can you see that? This blush is amazing. Then going to highlight. Now there are like a million highlights out there as well. And there are different ways to apply highlight. I like to use two brushes, one to apply and one to blend. And I learned that from another YouTuber named Paulina. So this is the Morphe M501. It's just a large kind of... yeah, it has some dents to it, but it's also a bit good to blend with. And I have a lot of highlights as well, but today I'm going to use the highlights from that kit, the Sleek Faceform in Light. So I'm just taking some on the brush, tapping it off, and then applying it here. Here is the highest part of my cheekbone, and I'm dragging it a little bit here and here. I like to take it up here as well, and a little bit under my eyebrow, but Other people might do it differently. This is just what I prefer for my face form. So I'm just applying this and blending a little bit with this Morphe brush. So highlight, you put highlight where you want to enhance your features. So, or where the, yeah, where you want to enhance your face, your features. The bronzer we put down, you want to put down where the sun hits your face, so here obviously. And I like to apply a little bit of highlight on my nose. That's just because it gives you this healthy glow. But this is basically where I put down highlight. You see how it looks now? Then I take my Real Techniques multitask cheek brush and I just blend a little bit with this. And that's just because I don't want it to look like I have a streak of highlight on my face. There we go. This is how I apply contour, bronzer, blush and highlight. So this is how it looks. Once I'm done with this, I always go in with a setting spray before I do my eye makeup. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to take my Glamglow glowsetter and just spray the heck out of my face. And then just taking a palette and help it to dry. I love this blush though. It's just so pretty. I think it's a dupe for NARS Orgasm, and NARS Orgasm is really a cult favorite. I had that in a single blush, but I gave it away to my sister because I have it in a palette. And now I have this, and this is basically the same. So yeah, this is how to apply your cheek products, or the way I like to do it. Please leave a comment down below if you do anything different, or if you have any tips for me on how I can up my game a bit. And please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and please subscribe if you have not already. And until I make another video, you guys, please take care. Bye!